Good afternoon. I speak now to my friends, my classmates, to every single government official, and to the United States of America. Today is a day of extreme grief, anger, and loss. 24 years ago today, 19 terrorists killed nearly 3,000 people at the World Trade Center in New York City, at the Pentagon, and in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. Yesterday, we also lost 3 fellow students, the same age as many of us in this room, in Evergreen, Colorado, and we mourn with their families and communities as a whole. Today is also the first day of our lives where Charlie Kirk is not with us. He was fatally shot yesterday at 2:10 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, hosting an event of civil public discourse in Utah to get students more involved with political processes in the government. And although I didn't agree with much of what he said, I can sincerely say that our world is now in a much more vulnerable and worse place. I want you all to just stop for a second. Look at the people around you. In a non-joking manner, ask yourself, do you hate these people enough to kill them? Because that is the place that our country resides in. Yesterday, a coward murdered a man for simply asking people for their input. And although some people heavily disagree with his beliefs, death is never an acceptable punishment. Charlie Kirk famously said, when people stop talking, really bad things happen. And it did. A really bad thing happened. And now he can't talk to anyone ever again. He can't talk to another Democrat, Republican, or Independent. But even worse, he can never talk to his wife, his 3-year-old daughter, or his 1-year-old son again. I now ask for a moment of silence to honor all those who have been affected by political violence. This is the point we lie in. But the country we grew up in no longer exists. The values instilled by us by our parents and their parents before them no longer are sufficient. And America is dead. The principles that once defined America are no longer present, and unless we can find a way to have civilized discussions and permanently do away with political violence, America will remain dead. Now is the time we act. Condolences without action of prevention towards ending political violence are meaningless. It will not bring Melissa Hortman back. It will not bring Dr. Martin Luther King back. And it will not bring Charlie Kirk back. If we do not act now, we can expect the equivalent of a second civil war. But this time it will not be North versus South in this conflict, but instead will be neighbor versus neighbor, Democrat versus Republican. And you may have noticed my strong emphasis on Charlie Kirk. This is for 2 major reasons. He's the latest in a long line of political violence targets, but what separates him is that he simply wanted to talk to people, and more importantly, get them talking with each other. The second part of that is he is the reason that I got into politics and government in the first place. When I was 10 years old, I remember seeing him for the first time, and I was in awe of how he talked and the courage he had, not what he had to say, much of which I disagreed with. It is important to acknowledge that there is some good work being done, but it is not enough. And now I speak directly to every single public employee in our nation. I'm inviting any senator, congressman, director, mayor, president that cannot do their job of representing their citizens without hatefully speaking to one another to simply resign. You now stand at a crossroads. Represent your people the way you are supposed to. Represent their values, hear their voices, and keep them alive. Or you can try to take the political approach. Keep trading in backroom promises and try to hold on to power until America finally collapses because people kill each other at the first sign of political difference, which is the point we are not far from. I didn't come up here to simply state grievances. I plan to work with the Worcester City Council and Auburn Board of Selectmen to ensure that nothing like this ever happens in our cities, and I hope to begin a national initiative from there. I also call for the mandatory installment of monthly civil discourse meetings with public officials to ensure that all voices are heard in every aspect of life. America's doomsday clock is ticking, and public officials, take the batteries out, or you might as well press the detonate button now and sign the death certificate of the United States of America. Please do not hesitate to reach out to me at any point, and I hope any and all of you will join me in working towards this mandatory requirement if America is to have a future. Thank you and good night.